Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Hello Neighbor, one of the most iconic YouTuber games of all time. I don't know about you, but back in the day when this released, I watched so many different YouTubers play this game. It was truly the vibes of 2016. God, I miss it. But today, I did get the Platinum, and I beat the entire game for my own for the first time ever. Yeah, I never played it back in the day. I just watched it like a real one did. But in total, the game contains only 18 trophies, taking about 5 hours to Platinum, and overall, the trophies are the easy part of the game. It's actually beating it that's the challenge. Yet it's still only rated at a 3 out of 10 for difficulty, but I feel like that should be a little bit higher, just saying. Some of the parkour in this game made me want to genuinely end my... Oh my God! Anyway, starting off today, stage 1 is to just enjoy the story. Hello Neighbor is divided into 3 main acts of the story, being Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. There is a finale act, but that's not really a part of the main story per se. However, the first 2 acts of this game, you quite literally cannot and you do not get any trophies at all. It's purely just solving puzzles, getting used to the game, and introduced to the very scary and mysterious world of Hello Neighbor. The game opens with a cutscene showing our very sweaty main character who has a serious jaw issue, running down the street chasing after a ball of sorts. But once we finally catch up to it, you then see our evil neighbor doing some nefarious things in his home. Is he beating his wife? Is he stuffing children in his basement? I have no idea, but if you like and subscribe right now, we might find out then. Sorry, but no, seriously, you then peek into his home and he spots us and then catches us. However, we just wake up at our own home, so it's completely fine. You then pick up playing as the main character, who I don't know if we get a name at all, but yeah, we start playing, and the goal is essentially to just get into the basement because that's where all of the goodies and secrets are at. And I'm also pretty sure in every act of the game, that's like how you end it. Just make it inside the basement or make it outside of the house, depending on, you know, how you're stuck. In some of the later acts, however, there is a lot of other side rooms that you do need to interact with, so it does get quite intensive later on. But for now, the first thing I tried to do was parkour up this dude's porch siding with cardboard boxes, and it was honestly just a massive fail. This game's controls are somewhere in the depths of hell with warlords like Stalin with just how bad they are.
What did he say?
So I literally tried this for like 20 minutes before finally getting the mechanics figured out, and it's still awful even knowing how to do parkour with placing objects. But anyways, that was just to get inside the home and into the second floor because there was numerous key items and a key itself chilling inside. One of those keys was a red one that could then be taken outside to use on this dude's car trunk, and inside was a super strong and definitely not legal magnet. The magnet can then be brought to the back side of the house and you can use it to grab a shank of sorts. I honestly have no clue what the hell this is. It looks like an intricate jail weapon though, that's for sure. I guess it can and will be used as a lockpick though. Shit, we might as well have just stabbed the guy and got this game over with, to be honest. But after using it on this silver lock in the house, the door opens to show us yet again another key item, being this time a golden wrench. Yes, it is color-coded to a corresponding bolt that is also gold and what I went to go unlock right after. And after I did that, I then found a red key after scaling more of the house in some room. So I then grabbed it, but then the damn dude finally caught my little booty cheeks, and then we got some sort of intermission scene. These happen a lot if you die a lot, but if you don't die, they don't happen. So, yeah, skill issue on my part.
Skill issue.
Thank God, though, that this game doesn't have a 0 death trophy. That would have made it insanely hard to do. After that little scene, you then just spawn back at the crib, and we continued our investigation. Some would call this a robbery, but hey, we are just a kid. You can't charge us in a court of law, motherfucker. I also got spotted instantly by the dude, but it was fine because I was just running for that basement since this red key I got is the key for the basement. And once making it there, we were then relatively in the clear. And I'm not gonna lie, in every act of this game, the basement sections are typically very easy because there isn't necessarily any threats. However, they are very confusing. And I would basically just stumble around until finding the exit. God bless America. Side note though, this game low-key gives me vibes of the Backrooms, and damn it, I wish they had an actual good Backrooms game on PlayStation to Platinum. That would be so sick, but I digress. Eventually, I did reach the glowing neon green exit sign of life, and then I walked through, reaching a very dirt-infested passage. Unfortunately, that smelly man who was hiding little boys in his basement also found us at this point, and we got chased. I also completely outran him, and if we survive this encounter, I think our character should join the track team. You ain't ever seen a triple chin run so fast in your entire life.
That's what I'm saying.
But then you do get sent into Act 2 of the game, and that was Act 1 completed. It was shockingly quick. Back in the good old days, I remember watching YouTubers die inside trying to figure out those puzzles. How times have changed. Anyways, Act 2 still had us in the basement for the time being, and to get out, you basically just break a vent and then run to the hatch leading outside. It's very simple. This also is the respawn point, and I know this because I died a multitude of times on this act, and it was swell. But this act was essentially just more of the same like the first one was. Do puzzles, try not to get caught. I failed at that. But instead of getting into the basement this time, we were instead trying to just get out of this dude's damn yard and off his property. I don't know how hard he hit us to knock us out, but damn, we must have been sleeping for ages because he put up the damn wall of China in between the road and his house. All I gotta say is the HOA, the Homeowners Association, will be hearing a complaint from me, good sir. Your fees will skyrocket. But to get out of the yard, you need to find a crowbar, and you can get one from this very intricate and kind of scary puzzle involving a construction doll carrying a crowbar. You then have to place him in this house replica of our own home. I swear I've seen this in so many horror movies, and my butthole is very much clenched up right now. But then it just spawns in a giant construction man, and you have to take the crowbar off of him because it has materialized into reality. If only my Sydney Sweeney Barbie doll would do this also. Shameless times. But with that acquired, you can then dip out by just unnailing these planks covering the exit. And this really makes me wonder, how does our neighbor ever leave his house for the essentials? You know, like food, water, extra lube, and court dates. It truly is a mystery. But after leaving and walking across the road, you finish Act 2, and a very sudden cutscene happens with a below shot up at our character's fat ass f***ing chin. I've dated white girls with tits smaller than this thing. What is going on here? And as we cross the road, he then gives us a death stare and closes the door in defeat, the one that got away. So now it's time for Act 3. And this is where the large, very large bulk of time is spent today, and where I quite literally died inside because it was so complicated I almost started to cry. But there is a big time skip into much further of our life, and good old lad here is all grown up. Now don't hate me when I say this, but this is a pretty shitty apartment, and we also got evicted from such shitty apartment. The golden years truly were those that we lived inside of a man's giant house, even if we were in captivity. It's a shame. So yeah, you got evicted, and then you go drive back to the family house from before, and it's all run down. Also, our neighbor's house seems to be in even worse shape. Turns out the HOA just killed that motherfucker. You never mess with the homeowner association's lead lady. She will literally murder you. However, it was then time for sleepy, and we went to take a little nap. A bad dream then occurs, or is this just our reality? The neighbor is back, and his house is looking even more insane than last time. I'm not sure how he even managed to build all of this. He must have had to use his ultimate ability and call upon the Amish. It's truly the only solution. So this act then begins with us playing, and it's the middle of the night. Now the first few puzzles are very easy, and getting into the house itself isn't that hard, but you have to not get caught because we need to open a door that will become locked upon us getting captured for the first time. So I sort of just wasted like an hour of my playtime jerking myself around this house with no success, until I eventually discovered, oh shit, you can just crank up the gamma in the video settings and then everything is perfectly visible. Why is this not the default graphic setting? They hate us. The developers just hate us. This white guy with absolutely zero hair on his head, that's actually kind of crazy. He hates us. Anyways, after like an hour of struggling, I did begin to figure things out. Forgive me, but I'm not going to be going through every single step you have to do inside of Act 3 because it's just insane. Like, genuinely, the amount of puzzles that twist and turn into each other damn near made me question my own gender. I was so confused within. But this video is kind of good if you can follow it. I low-key hate the guy that made this video. It's like one of the worst video game guides I've ever seen, but it's also like still kind of useful. I don't know. I don't like it, but I did watch all of it, so yeah, I'm just kind of lost right now. Anyways, let's get to some trophies, damn it, because that's what we're all here for, as you all know. Another platinum, another day. Or it's the other way. I think it's the other way around. Space Jam from scoring 3 points was the first trophy I got today, about 2 hours into the game. And it's also by far the easiest trophy, at least in the normal slew of trophies that is, simply from taking a basketball at any point and then just throwing it at the basketball hoop outside the dude's house. It should pop instantly, and if it doesn't, then you're screwed. I'm sorry. Now, my next trophy was then called, Bacon. And the trophy description is zero help at all, but this is gotten in one of the intermission scenes that you enter in this house. And to be more specific, it's from from doing this little lift puzzle that launches you up to a door that is extremely elevated. After entering it, you then get sent to a dreamish sequence in a grocery store full of robots that are after us and want to kill us. This part pissed me off almost more than the gas prices rising every day. Haha, yeah, I care about social causes. Just kidding, I really don't give a f, honestly. Anyways, to go for the trophy and to get out of the place in general is by finding 5 different types of produce and putting it into our cart. This includes a bag of chips, a pink bottle, a jar with a pink lid, a jar of pickles, and a carton of orange juice. Now, finding these isn't hard at all because there really isn't that many things in this store to begin with. The economy is suffering even in this game. Damn, that hits. But like I was saying, the hard part is actually getting them in the cart. The game style of Hello Neighbor is very unique, don't get me wrong, but Jesus can we not have like an auto insert or some sort of item locking when trying to put stuff onto other things? Just because it's a unique game style doesn't make it good. If you're an 850-pound ginger man named William Shaft, you definitely are one of a kind, but that doesn't mean you're good. Hopefully that analogy makes sense. Anyways, after I finally got the items in my cart and sold my kidney to buy them, I was allowed to leave and the trophy popped right here. My next trophy was then called Top of the World from, you know, reaching the top of the map. And this is pretty far into the Act 3 segment, but it's done by climbing up and up and up using the record player thing, umbrella, and dummy to push yourself up one more time. I also kind of did mess this up and it just kind of glitched me up high enough, which popped me the trophy, so thanks, I guess, and here's a trophy pop. Now my next trophy was called Shoot 'em Up, and it's one of the more in-depth trophies of this game, requiring us to find 4 birthday cake slices around the house and 4 dummies around the house as well. All of them are found within other story areas, so you don't really need to do anything you wouldn't already have to do, but after finding them all and bringing them to the party room, the trophy will pop, and so does a massive birthday celebration. Oh yeah, you also get given a gun, so hell yeah, this is America after all. Now my next trophy is low-key the hardest trophy of the game, and it's called Get 'em George, and it's also the first power-up or ability we unlock in the game. We have to find the green key and then use it on the green lock to then get sent to this little mini-game intermission scene. And your goal is to cross the entire school, I guess, all the while robots are running all around us trying to kill us, and they will without a second thought. I died over and over and over. I had absolutely no clue how to do this or what the damn bells meant that constantly went off, so I looked it up and, you know, not a lot of people were very helpful, just saying. Aside from this one dude who just said to go AFK and then come back and they will all go away. So I did that and I left my game running for about half an hour. Apparently only about 5 minutes to 10 minutes is needed, but I was hungry, so I went and made a ton of ground beef for tacos and personal use. I will not elaborate, and yes, I am a chef. But then when I finally came back to the game, it ended up working, and the place was as empty as my DMs are. So I just ran through it all, and the final encounter was a fast little quick time event to beat the teacher and escape, getting the trophy pop afterwards. Also, we now have like a second chance when getting caught by the neighbor, hence our new ability. And speaking of abilities, the next one was a double jump ability and acquired by getting the red key and then taking it up into the floating house hanging off the side of the main house. And once inside the place, this time it wasn't so much about combat, but much more about parkour and a little bit puzzle based. Long story short, you just gotta climb higher and higher until you reach the very top, and then you perform a big boy jump, escaping the mini game and getting the trophy up. And now we can double jump, which is very cool indeed. At this point, I was also almost finished with Act 3 now, and before heading to the finale, I did go through and get all of the easy trophies in this game. I'm not sure why these are a thing, but there is a little Easter egg that lets you go through a wall and then escape to the outside of the map. It's like a built-in bug the developers put in the game, but once you are out here, you literally just run around to various areas and get trophies at certain places that give them, including the trophy Wrong Place to Hurt from doing the bug to begin with. And a few moments after, I also got the Meet Joe Black trophy, which was from putting a dummy on the road and having it get hit by a car. I also did that before heading in here, so I guess he got hit while I was, you know, out of the map, so rest in pieces. Moving on, I then just ran to all of the areas that gave trophies. The first one was a grocery store of sorts, I'm guessing for the beep trophy. The next one was the gas station for the change for gas trophy pop. Following that was one from going to a hospital, I believe, called Is She Okay? And the following was called Don't Tell Anyone. I honestly don't know what that's alluding to at all. But the next one was called No Swimming, and it was at a nuclear power plant, so yeah, hopefully it doesn't explode. And the final location trophy was called Back to School from just going to the school. Very, very easy. I then real fast headed back to reality, and I grabbed some cardboard boxes before heading once more into the bugged outer world, because the trophy called Don't Bite Snow White is what I was after now. And it's from finding a golden apple. Now there's actually 2 two ways to do this. One is by planting a seed and then waiting 3 hours for it to grow. 3 hours of real life time, which is just crazy, so I didn't do that. Instead, the other way, and the far faster and easier way, is to just find this one tree near the main house in the bugged world that has one sat on its branch. You then need to fully charge up the box, which you can tell by the outer edge of the screen turning white, and then release it, and bam, pick it up and the trophy is yours. So my last two trophies are both from the finale act of the game, which is also where I am now. And I'm not gonna lie, this might be one of the worst endings to a video game I've ever seen. Not in terms of what actually happened, but just the gameplay. Holy shit. For whatever unknown god-awful reason, the developers coded in this finale to have the most annoying ambient sound playing at full blast, and it genuinely hurts my head to listen to, so I just unplugged my audio, and I pretty much went silent for this portion. But aside from that, the actual ending is very easy. You pretty much just run around, do some puzzles to knock the evil neighbor on his knees. Yeah, how's it feel? The tides are turned now, you son of a bitch. And then you just float over with this umbrella to enter the house on his back because he is a giant, if you can't tell. And upon doing so, the first boss / ending trophy pops. Now for the final boss trophy, you have to basically just guard the tiny version of ourselves from the scary dark figure outside. It's a little bit scuffed here and there, but overall it does work fine. You just need to know where he's running to. After saving him from his fears a multitude of times, the trophy then pops from us beating the final boss and the platinum trophy along with it. We then see an ending cutscene showing our character wake up from his nap, and in reality, the house is still gone and everything's fine. Poor dude is genuinely just a victim. I honestly feel kind of bad. So yeah, that was the Hello Neighbor platinum trophy experience. Honestly, I did have a pretty fun time today. I just wish there wasn't so many damn bugs and annoying as parkour. Like, I get it's the style of the game, but come on, man. Like and subscribe if you want to see me do the others in the series, and thank you all for watching. Peace out, boys.